Alright folks, gather round and listen up. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned savings disappear faster than free samples at Costco? Feeling like you need a magnifying glass to spot the remaining zeros in your bank account? Well, you're not alone. Due to the rising cost of houses and the ever-increasing cost of living in America, more and more people are looking for alternatives that won't leave them living on ramen noodles in their golden years. But fear not, my budget-conscious friends. I've got a solution that'll knock your socks off and maybe even inspire you to trade those socks for flip-flops. Let me introduce you to Vietnam, a country that's not just about pho and conical hats, but a retirement paradise that'll make your wallet sing and your Instagram followers green with envy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Vietnam? Isn't that where Forrest Gump went? Well, yes, but it's come a long way since then. Today's Vietnam is a beautiful tapestry of ancient traditions and modern conveniences, all wrapped up in a cost of living that'll make you wonder why you didn't think of this sooner. So grab your reading glasses, or just zoom in on your screen, no judgment here. And let's dive into the top 7 affordable, safe, and downright gorgeous cities where you can live out your retirement dreams without having to sell your kidneys on the black market. Number 1. Da Nang, the beach lover's paradise. First up, we've got Da Nang, and hot damn, is it a looker? Picture this. You're waking up every morning to the sound of waves gently kissing the shore, with mountains so lush they'd make Bob Ross weep. Sounds like paradise, right? Well, in Da Nang, that's just Tuesday. This beachside beauty has been turning heads faster than a supermodel at a tech convention, and it's not hard to see why. It's like someone took the best bits of city living and beach bumming and smooshed them together into one perfect package. Let's talk numbers, shall we? You can snag a nice one-bedroom apartment in the city center for around $300 to $400 a month. If you're feeling fancy and want a sea view, you might be looking at $500 to $600. But hey, that's still cheaper than your average parking spot in New York City. As for your daily expenses, a couple can live comfortably on about $1,000 to $1,500 a month, including rent. That covers everything from groceries to eating out a few times a week. And trust me, you'll want to eat out. The food here is to die for. Safety-wise, Da Nang's about as dangerous as a box of kittens. Crime rates are lower than your chances of winning the lottery, and the locals are friendlier than your overly enthusiastic Labrador. And the views? Oh boy, where do I start? You've got a bridge that spits fire on weekends. Yeah, you heard me right. Mountains that look like they're made of marble. And beaches so pretty they'll make you think you've died and gone to heaven. Number 2. Hoi An, a step back in time. Next up, we have Hoi An, and folks, prepare to fall in love. Picture this. You're strolling down cobblestone streets, the warm glow of paper lanterns casting a magical light around you. The air is filled with the tantalizing aroma of street food, and everywhere you look, there's a story waiting to be told. Welcome to Hoi An, my friends. This little gem is like that quaint, charming grandparent who always has the best stories to tell. It's a place where time seems to slow down, and you can't help but fall head over heels in love with its old-world charm. Now let's talk brass tacks. You can rent a cozy one-bedroom apartment in the Old Town for about $350 to $450 a month. If you're willing to live a bit further out, you can find even better deals. A couple can live quite comfortably here on $1,200 to $1,500 a month, including rent. As for safety, let's put it this way. Your biggest worry here will be deciding which mouthwatering banh mi to try next. Seriously, the crime rate is so low, it's practically non-existent. Your biggest danger? Food coma from all the delicious eats at the night market. And the beauty of this place? Oh boy, where do I even begin? Imagine a picturesque river winding through town, an iconic bridge that looks like it's straight out of a postcard, and streets that light up at night like a scene from a romantic movie. And just when you think it can't get any better, you find yourself on An Bang Beach, coconut in hand, watching a sunset that'll make you forget all about your Instagram filters. Trust me, folks, Hoi An isn't just a destination, it's an experience that'll stick with you long after you've left. It's the kind of place that makes you want to slow down, take a deep breath, and just soak it all in. Number 3. Nha Trang, Coastal living at its finest. All right, beach lovers, listen up. If you've got sand in your veins and salt water in your heart, Nha Trang might just be your slice of paradise. This coastal gem is the kind of place that'll make you wonder why you didn't pack up and move years ago. Let's talk cold hard cash. For less than what you'd blow on a fancy night out back home, you could be calling a sweet beachside pad your own for a whole month. And if you're feeling extra bougie, splash out on a fancy condo with ocean views that'll make your friends back home green with envy. Trust me, it's still cheaper than that shoebox apartment you've been eyeing in Miami. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sure, but can I afford to live there? Hold on to your flip-flops, because this is where it gets good. You can find a nice one-bedroom apartment near the beach for about $300 to $400 a month. If you want to live like a king or queen, a luxurious beachfront condo might set you back $600 to $800. Still a steal compared to beachfront property back home, right? A couple can live quite comfortably in Nha Trang on about $1,200 to $1,500 a month, including rent. That budget will cover your housing, food, transportation, and even the occasional spa day. Because why not? Worried about safety? Relax, sunshine. Nha Trang's about as dangerous as a puppy in a tutu. Just use your noggin and you'll be fine. Now, let's gush about the scenery for a hot minute. Picture this. Beaches so pristine they look photoshopped, water so clear you can count the fish's teeth, and mountains that'll make your jaw drop faster than your old boss's hairline. And if you ever get bored of paradise, as if, hop on over to Vinpearl Land. It's like Disneyland's cooler, cheaper cousin with a killer ocean view. Number 4. Dalat, the city of eternal spring. Next on our list is Dalat, the city that's like the Goldilocks of weather. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. Nestled up in the hills, this place is so perfect you'll think you've stumbled into a fairy tale. Now let's talk numbers. You can rent a cozy one-bedroom apartment in the city center for about $200 to $300 a month. If you want something a bit more spacious, or with a view of the surrounding hills, you might be looking at $300 to $400. Still pretty sweet, right? A couple can live quite comfortably in Dalat on about $1,000 to $1,300 a month, including rent. That'll cover your housing, food, transportation, and even some fun activities like golfing or horseback riding. Safety in Dalat, please. The biggest danger here is caffeine overdose from all the amazing local coffee. Seriously, this place is safer than your grandma's cookie jar. And don't even get me started on the views. Dalat is like Mother Nature went all out and decided to show off. Lakes, forests, waterfalls. This place has it all. Plus, there's this crazy house that looks like something straight out of a fever dream. It's wild, it's wacky, and it's absolutely worth a visit. Number 5. Hue, a history buff's dream. If you're the type who gets excited about ancient citadels and imperial tombs, and let's be honest, who isn't? Then Hue might just be your perfect retirement destination. This former imperial capital is steeped in history and culture, offering a unique blend of past and present. Let's talk about the nitty-gritty, money. You can snag a nice one-bedroom apartment in the city center for about $250 to $350 a month. If you want to live like an emperor or empress, a more luxurious place might set you back $400 to $500. Still a bargain compared to that shoebox apartment in San Francisco, right? A couple can live quite comfortably in Hue on about $1,100 to $1,400 a month, including rent. That'll cover your housing, food, transportation, and even some cultural activities like cooking classes or traditional music performances. Safety-wise, Hue is like that responsible older sibling who always looks out for you. The city has a low crime rate, and the biggest danger you'll face is probably getting too engrossed in a history book at one of the many local cafes. Now, let's talk scenery. Hue is like a living museum with the grand imperial city at its heart. Imagine strolling through ancient palaces and temples, or taking a dragon boat ride down the Perfume River. And if you ever need a break from all that history, the nearby beaches of Lang Co are just a short drive away. It's like having your cake and eating it too. Or in this case, having your imperial palace and your beach day too. Number 6. Phu Quoc, island paradise on a budget. Now, if you've ever dreamed of retiring on a tropical island, but thought it was way out of your budget, let me introduce you to Phu Quoc. This stunning island off the southern coast of Vietnam is like a little slice of paradise that somehow forgot to inflate its prices. Let's break it down. You can rent a nice one-bedroom apartment near the beach for about $300 to $400 a month. If you want to go all out and get a villa with a private pool, you might be looking at $600 to $800. Still way cheaper than that timeshare in Florida you were considering, right? A couple can live quite comfortably on Phu Quoc for about $1,300 to $1,600 a month, including rent. That'll cover your housing, food, transportation, and even some island activities like snorkeling or sunset cruises. Safety on Phu Quoc is about as concerning as deciding which beach to visit next. Spoiler alert, they're all gorgeous. The island has a very low crime rate, and the biggest danger you'll face is probably getting a sunburn if you fall asleep on the beach. Speaking of beaches, let's talk about the scenery. Phu Quoc is like someone took all the best parts of a tropical island and condensed them into one place. We're talking pristine white sand beaches, crystal clear waters teeming with colorful fish, and lush jungle interiors. And don't even get me started on the sunsets. They're so beautiful. You'll think you've died and gone to heaven, but nope, you're just in Phu Quoc. Number 7. Ho Chi Minh City. Big city, living on a small town budget. Last but certainly not least on our whirlwind tour of Vietnamese retirement havens, let's chat about Ho Chi Minh City, or as the cool kids call it, Saigon. Now, I know what you're thinking. Retiring to a bustling metropolis? Sounds about as relaxing as a cage match with a caffeinated squirrel, right? But hold on to your dentures, because HCMC is about to blow your mind faster than you can say affordable big city living. Let's talk Turkey, or should I say Vietnamese dong. In this concrete jungle, you can snag a sweet pad in the heart of the action for about $400 to $500 a month. And if you're feeling extra bougie, you might be looking at $600 to $800. It's like living in Manhattan, minus the wallet-emptying rent and soul-crushing crowds. Now, how much dough do you need to live large in the Nam? A couple can live quite comfortably in HCMC on about $1,500 to $1,800 a month, including rent. We're talking housing, grub, getting around, and even catching some tunes or flicks. Heck, you might even have enough left over to finally learn underwater basket weaving, or whatever hobby you've been putting off. Safety-wise, HCMC's got you covered. Just use your noggin and you'll be fine. The real danger? Getting hooked on Vietnamese coffee. That stuff's more addictive than your grandkids' video games. Food in HCMC? Oh boy, buckle up, Buttercup. From steaming bowls of pho that'll make your taste buds do the cha-cha to fancy pants fusion joints, this city's a gastronomic wonderland. And the best part? You can eat out every day without having to sell a kidney. Street food here is cheaper than the gum stuck to your shoe. For you culture vultures, HCMC's got more history than your high school textbook. From war museums that'll give you goosebumps to palaces straight out of the 70s, there's plenty to feed your brain. And don't even get me started on the Notre Dame Cathedral. It's like someone plucked a chunk of Paris and plopped it down in Vietnam. Shopping more your speed? Whether you're after knockoff designer goods or the real deal, HCMC's got you covered. With all the cash you're saving on rent, you might as well treat yourself, right? And when city life gets too crazy, just hop on a bus and hit the beach. It's like having your pho and eating it too. Big city thrills with a side of sand and surf. So there you have it, folks. 7 amazing cities in Vietnam where you can retire in style without breaking the bank. From beachside paradises to mountain retreats, from ancient towns to modern metropolises, Vietnam truly has something for everyone. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but what about the language barrier? What about visas? What about healthcare? Well, don't you worry your pretty little head about that. Many Vietnamese, especially in tourist areas, speak English. There are various visa options for retirees, and the government is working on making it even easier for foreigners to retire in Vietnam. And healthcare. Vietnam has been investing heavily in its medical infrastructure, with many cities boasting international standard hospitals. Of course, retiring abroad is a big decision, and it's not all sunshine and banh mi. You'll face challenges, from cultural differences to missing your favorite brand of peanut butter. But that's all part of the adventure, right? So there you have it, your guide to retiring in Vietnam like a boss, on a budget that won't make your accountant cry. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some plane tickets to book and phrase books to study. Mont hai ba yo. That's 1, 2, 3 cheers in Vietnamese. See, I'm learning already.